Hi, I'm Hamish, and Roblox is a really big platform with a lot of wild, quirky, underrated, and unknown games. But I thought, hey, you know what someone like me should do? Someone who both can handle horror games and is fascinated in them should totally rank just a bunch of random Roblox horror games. And I couldn't stop myself, so here we are now. Also, some of these games aren't exactly horror games, but I'll try to have a pretty spooky-ish vibe, so if these aren't scary to you, I'm sorry. Let's get started. I have a confession. I used to play this Roblox game religiously back in like 2018. This is one of the biggest games on Roblox, don't fact check me. So we are going purely off of vibes, and I swear this was defined as horror, even if it's not now, so we're just gonna say I'm right. I should mention that, like, is basically a meme game that I really thought was, like, horror related. No. Coming back to this game in 2023 was depressing and sad. I waltz on over to the only NPC and they start getting all political on me for literally no reason. I don't want to hear your opinions on the European Union. Keep that to yourself. And then I made the mistake of touching the Undertale reference checkpoint and got teleported. Did I just get teleported into Undertale? So I jumped into this random pit and got teleported into the Badlands? What? By this point, I was so confused and kinda tired, but kept zooming around in hopes of understanding what's going on, but nothing gets better. I hear the sound of a purifier in those... What towers? So after a while, I leave and rejoin to play the actual game, and I swear, the game now is just filled with the most rank, crusty, old, bygone ancient memes that didn't even manage to make me crack a smile. To the point where I almost felt bad for the game being this painfully unfunny. And then randomly I get teleported into the back rooms. I gave up shortly after that, so maybe it was my bad to not only insist that this was a horror game, but also insist to put this in the video. This is the lowest quote-unquote horror game I've ever played. That's in the world. This is the lowest. This is the worst. 0. Wait, before we start, I'm just gonna... There we go. So much better. Okay, anyways, this game is heavily inspired by the game Break-In, which is incredibly popular, but during some moments it felt like it crossed the inspired line and almost just felt slightly plagiarized. Especially in the beginning when all that happened was move into a house. Now that we're here, let's look around. I'm feeling hungry. Maybe get a pizza. Oh no, is that breaking news? Who's that at the door? Oh, it's just a pizza man. I'm tired. Let's go to bed. But then suddenly, you wake up in a dream sequence where everything just looks confusing and you get teleported into a maze? It gets super confusing, super quickly, and now you have to run away from your neighbor who is someone I didn't mention because he looks kind of boring. He looks so ugly.
No.
In a loving
Why?
way. Once you wake up, you call the police immediately, but it turns out the police are evil and drug you. They take you to your neighbor's basement where you stand on the stairs for a long time to avoid all the little things they're throwing your way, until a random table pops up and your friend chooses to kill you. No, save, save, save. Hey, Bish. Please. No! So after being salty for a bit, we replayed it so I would get farther, and then I died at the boss fight. If that sounds confusing to you, it's because it is, and I wouldn't really recommend playing this game, nor did I get scared while doing so. I've lumped these games together as they essentially have the same gameplay, but they both have an element the other lacks despite how similar they are. Cheese Escape is visually pleasing, in quotation marks, game, where a rat that basically is the same speed as you chases you around these tight corridors while you try to collect the 9 pieces of cheese hidden in this maze. Apart from the loose cheese that just hangs around the maze, there is an overarching sub-quest which begins once you get the green key. Basically, one room gives you a key that is used to open a door that holds a key that is used to open a door until you win! Don't Get Sniffed is a newer version of this game, which in my opinion has a better entity that chases you. I got my first booger. Kathryn, don't fall! Ah! But has a more dull, boring map, with little color and feels all over the place. I could feel the vision, but the fact that there are no tight spaces makes this one way easier than the other despite you needing to collect 14 booger instead of 9 cheese. I do think this type of horror game isn't exactly scary, and the novelty does quickly wear off after a while, but these are the most popular games featured on this video right now, so they are doing something right.
I got a few more years in me.
And I agree, this game really took my breath away. Okay, I'm being overdramatic. This game is a fun, festive, old Roblox-style collect game where you go around this haunted mansion and unlock rooms and collect gemstones by finishing rituals, which sounds way more intense than it is. This game is probably the most obscure out of all of the games on this list, which does give it a certain charm, but I can't say that all my friends felt the same way. This game definitely relies on the novelty of it all, and if that novelty wears off, then the game is just simply finding objects to get other objects, and that can be really boring to anyone not in the mood to go in circles for like an hour. The game visually also isn't anything too grand, as it's styled off an old Roblox scary mansion, but I did find a few parts of the game to be really interesting, specifically whenever you gain a gemstone. The whole game goes dark, and a big event happens to summon the gemstone, which is a fun way to congratulate the person for collecting the 17,000 pumpkins scattered across the map. This game ranks fairly low on the list because after a bit, it feels more and more like a chore to do everything, and the ending is super underwhelming and leaves you asking, is that it? Paranormica is a game I have an extended history with. I am not going into any more detail, but 2020 was a wild time. This game is heavily based off the game Phasmophobia, and serves as the Roblox version of that game, albeit adding a few extra cheap spooks.
I should probably turn off my
Guys,
music
who
and turn
turned on the TV?
You?
In this game, you try to figure out what type of ghost a ghost is. The signs that can tell you can be things like freezing temperatures or a spirit book, or you can take the lazy way and just guess based off the way the ghost acts. The aesthetics in this game can go from run-of-the-mill free model and Roblox Marketplace to an actually nerve-wracking map that made me scared at times, especially when the game would just get really loud out of nowhere when nothing was happening.
Oh, I see eyes.
Something happened. And I'll be the first to admit that if I'm the last survivor in a group of friends on a round of this, you better believe I'm skedaddling on out of there and praying that silly little guy doesn't snatch me up like the rest of them. But everything aside, this game is pretty good. It definitely feels a little dated and past its prime, but if you just want a quick, sometimes cheap scare, it can do the job. Jim's Computer is a unique single-player Roblox horror game that isn't overtly obviously a horror game. At first, it just feels like a silly little game where you buy fun little weapons and spend 5 minutes making over your house with a paintball gun. But as time goes on, the game slowly peels back to a completely different story, being told by fairly subtle, gradual changes in the day-to-day events you do. Messages? No. Any news? No. Not to mention, there are night segments where you have to check both of the closets in your house in order to feel safe. Oh my god, shut it, girl. Stop. As the days go on, you have to buy more items that give off a feeling as if something's gone wrong. Instead of receiving a cheeseburger and a gravity coil, you may instead get wooden nails to board up your windows. And I dare not spoil the end, but let's just say it gets a little intense. This game is incredibly unique and something I've never seen before in Roblox. Its mix of old Roblox charm and old Roblox mystery is something that isn't tackled much in Roblox games. I strongly suggest checking this out, as it only takes around 15 minutes to beat, but oh my god, I was emotionally devastated at the end. This game is a classic when it comes to unique Roblox games that just feel so outlandishly out there. PM606 is a game where you have to find an elevator shaft to descend downwards in a maze that is characterized by plastering the winning smile Roblox face literally everywhere. The faces start off as just white boxes, but can become pretty unique in how they look to create a feeling of unsettledness between the people playing. Oh yeah, and there are also red murder winning smiles that can very quickly kill you. Like how we got spawn killed entering level 4B.
Why am I dying?
Oh my god, it's right there.
The face.
And for the rest of the game, had to be very aware of where the face was, so me and my only other friend who didn't die could actually make it out of there alive. At level 10, the formula of the game changes as you encounter a boss fight that is actually really tricky considering my skill at this game is in the negatives.
Can we go back?
Girl.
Do we have to fight?
But it is a suspenseful change of pace that also serves as a checkpoint if you beat the boss. However, after 2 attempts, we did give up. So, whatever is beyond is something I'll never know. Minus Descendants is a game about survival. You're on an elevator and there are 4 different doors in each direction, and your goal is to press all the buttons on the map while not dying by the monsters that are in those doorways. And in this game, we died a lot. Sometimes by sabotage.
Stefan, where are you?
Right here.
Sometimes by failing to outrun a monster.
Uh-oh.
Girl,
Oh no. Oh
Stefan,
no.
why did you stop running?
What do you mean, why did I stop running? I had one way to run.
And sometimes by our own stupidity.
Okay, Dani, lure it away, lure it away.
go in the room.
Oh wait, hold on. Oh my god, Dani, not run.
But every time we died, it was really dramatic for no reason, and that goes to show how immersive this game is. When you die, you feel dead. But on the rare chance we did press all the buttons on a floor, we got to pick up a power-up for what we wanted for the next level. And not gonna lie, most of the time we chose the boring power-ups. Like, trainless power over time, or trainless oxygen over time. Acting like we'd be in a position where we survived to see our oxygen fully drain over time. However, the game was immensely enjoyable to play, and the simple premise of pushing all the buttons is elevated by the atmosphere the game creates and the differing monsters the game throws at you, leading to an enjoyable and unique game every round. Scotomophobia is not really designed to be a multiplayer horror game, unlike the rest of the games on this list, but more like a self-contained story game where you have literally no idea what's going on. The only help you get is through small side characters and hidden notes around areas. This game is such a nonsensical journey at start that mimics the bricky look of an old Roblox horror game, but has it new and updated by having undoubtedly some of the most insane death screens I've ever seen from a Roblox game, and some very unique puzzles. There's a puzzle where an old man shouts at you through a walkie-talkie for 45 minutes, a puzzle where you have to match up places and characters with seasons, and even a puzzle where you kill one of the characters.
And Corbin like, wow, my axe slipped. It slipped again. It slipped again.
Well, that last one isn't a puzzle, but this game is such a wild journey, and I haven't even touched the lore so far, and that's intentional because I want you to go out and play this game. It's such a surreal experience and has many secrets waiting to be discovered. No other game has made me shake and quake as intensely as playing this game. The Trials is something based on something like Saw, with each game played one participant dies over time until there's only one person on top. And let me tell you, playing this game with 3 friends is so upsetting, because not only do you want yourself to survive, but you also want all your friends to survive, which is not possible due to how this game is set out. All the challenges are really well thought out though, with my personal favorites being the Russian roulette carousel and the final challenge between the top 2. Both because to survive you have to almost sabotage everyone else, and especially if you're friends with the other participants, it can get emotional.
Don't let the door hit you on your way out!
God, I don't think I'm gonna be going through the door.
Well, it was emotional there, but it can get emotional.
Dani,
Like a hexagon.
Do you have a hexagon?
put it in! No, the other! No! There's only one more left!
I highly recommend playing the Trials yourself, as there are 2 different maps and only the first map was shown here. So, out of these 10 random Roblox horror games, the Trials is my sole survivor. But I'm not giving it the little trinket. It's just getting first one. Congrats! Video done! I know, right? Big screen now. Honestly insane. Thank you to my 2 friends from the Total Drama video, Kathryn and Stefan, and also thank you to my other friend who joined onto this little project, Dani. If you agreed with my ranking of these games, then hit that bell, or gong, or whistle. I don't know. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!